Hi guys and dolls, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a hair frequently asked questions video. One of the number one things I get asked about is my hair, which is awesome. I'm so flattered that you guys want to know so much about my hair, and I know that I do dye it bright colors and I do fun things with it, and a lot of you are like, how does she do all this dyeing and her hair is not damaged, and like, what's her secret? So today I'm going to be answering a lot of your questions. I did a fishing video last fall to kind of see what questions you guys wanted answered, and so I have compiled them all and I'm going to be answering them today. So if you see me looking down, I'm reading the questions off a little book. So what I did is I read every single question and then I grouped questions that were the same or similar together, and then I made different categories. So I have personal question and answer, shampoo, conditioner, maintenance products like hair masks and stuff like that, style and cut questions, and finally dye and bleach questions. This is my own personal experience. Again, I have no formal training, so everything I know is from trial and error and research and all that good stuff. So the first section I'm going to answer are personal question and answer, because I feel like knowing my personal history and my background and kind of where I'm coming from helps you understand all the rest of the questions. So the first question is, what is your natural hair type and texture? Is it straight, wavy, curly, fine, thick, thin, or coarse? My hair's natural texture is fine. It's like baby, not quite baby fine, but it's pretty fine. Texture, or like, is it straight or wavy or curly? It's straight. It's not like bone straight. I wish it was. It's, if anything, it's more like a lank type of hair. It just kind of goes wherever and does whatever. And unfortunately, it also doesn't hold curl and things like that very well, so it's very annoying. I hate my hair. Now that I'm getting into my later 20s, it has a little bit of a wave to it. I don't know if that's just the way it's cut because it's layered. My mom's hair went very curly after she had me, so I'm wondering if I have kids if my hair will go curly. A girl can hope. The next question is, why do you prefer shorter hair? Have you ever had long hair? I prefer shorter hair, and this goes back into the type of texture my hair is, because it's fine and lank and it just has no body to it whatsoever. I prefer it short because when you have fine hair, if you have it short, it gives it volume. There's not as much weighing it down, so it doesn't just lay there. A couple years back, I got my hair cut short in a bob and I loved it, and it was the first time I'd really loved my hair. I've never had super long hair because my hair is so fine and it just lays there. It's just not an attractive look on me, especially partially because I'm plus size. Really long, straight, lank, flat hair on a larger body, not good looking. I'm just gonna put it out there. It's not attractive. You know, there are tons of volumizing options and everything like that, but I would have to like really do my hair every day. And I find that when it's shorter, it's just a little bit easier to style, especially when it's cut properly. Like right now my hair is way out of shape, but when it's freshly cut and everything is, you know, going great with it, it's just easy. It takes me sometimes like 15 minutes to do my hair being done. Love it. Why do you dye your hair? What is your natural color? Can we see you with your natural hair color? What is like the background with your hair? And a lot of people wanted to see a slideshow with different hair colors that I've had. Okay, so let's kind of dissect that a little bit. So the first question I'm going to answer with that is, what is your natural hair color? My natural hair color is a dark ash blonde, and what that basically means is that my hair is lacking red pigment, and that's why actually right next to my hair that I've dyed red, the hair almost takes on like a greenish tone because it's lacking red pigment, and then there's this vivid red right next to it. My hair is just dark ash blonde, and to me it looks gray. And I was discussing this actually with Hollywood Noir. You might have watched her channel. She also dyes her hair red, and her natural hair color is also an ash. I was reading in Sookie Stackhouse that she describes someone's hair as that like no color hair, and that's how I feel about mine. So I think maybe there's some psychological issues or whatever about why I dye my hair a bright color, but I also think that the bolder hair color plays nicely with my very, very pale skin. The next thing is, can we see your natural hair color or your background and everything like that? I don't have any photos of myself with my natural hair color like completely grown out. I haven't had my natural hair color, like all of my hair, my natural hair color, since I was 15. I promised my mom that I would grow my hair out, and then I did. I only grew it out to like here before she actually got it highlighted for me. And my hair, because it's ash blonde, does look really good with highlights, and if I ever wanted to be blonde, that would be what I would due to have like natural hair color, I would still highlight my hair. Do you ever dye your eyebrows to match? Why do you keep your brows a natural color when your hair is an unnatural color? Now, I have a relatively natural hair color now with the red and just the black, but when I did have my hair pink and things like that, I felt like having a natural color brow grounded the look and made it look less punk rock or something. If I had natural brows, it just made me feel more grounded in the whole look. I personally don't like the way that I look with hot pink on my for brows or purple or anything like that, so that was just a personal choice. Alright, the next question is, have you ever damaged your hair or ruined a dye job or anything like that? And the answer to that is yeah. A couple of years ago here on YouTube, I botched a dye job and showed it and everything, so yes, I make mistakes, I'm human. Again, I don't have any formal training, and sometimes you try something and you're like, oh, okay, now I know why not to do that. So the last personal question before we move on to the next section is, what is your favorite color that you've had your hair? To be honest, probably when it was pink, purple, and black. It really, really suited me. You know, it was just, I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I feel like I honestly think that I look good with pink hair. I think it suits my skin color, you know, it just worked for me. I would consider even going back to it maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Stay tuned. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the cut and style question. When you go to a stylist, what do you ask for? So, or what is the name of your cut? These kind of go hand in hand. I've heard it called different things, like I've heard it called an inverted bob, I've heard it called an A-line bob, I've heard it called whatever. Essentially, it's shorter in the back, longer in the front, so that's the A-line, I think. Right now it's more of a Robert because it's kind of grown out. It's starting to like lay on my shoulders and kind of flip out, or it'll kind of curl under and get like really poofy at the bottom, and I don't like that. I have like certain specific things that I like in my hair. I've noticed over the years that I like it fuller at the crown, I like it more tapered at the ends, I like it longer in the front, and sometimes I like a little texture in the bang area, sometimes I don't. I like it when it's very poofy right here, nice and rounded. You can see it's not right now. It needs to be cut. In fact, I have an appointment at 5 o'clock today. I'm so excited. So I always have like a few instructions, like don't cut this too short. I want volume here. I haven't found like that perfect stylist. I used to have the perfect stylist where I could be like, psh, girl, do whatever you want. And it would be like the cuts of my lifetime. I never once cried when Heather cut my hair. Like, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I've cried over a haircut more than once. Next question. How often do you have to cut your hair to keep up the style? I think with most hairstyles, in order to keep it up, you gotta get it cut like every 6 to 8 weeks, pretty much to keep up with the new hair growth. When you have shorter hair, you have to make sure you get it cut every 6 or 8 weeks or your hair comes way out of whack. The next question is, what do you use for volume? And to be honest, this could be a video onto itself, so I'm just going to briefly run through these things. The first thing is mousse. This is Root Boost from Catwalk, or TG. Yeah, I feel like an idiot because they like changed the packaging of this and I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting. Let me buy this and see if it's different from Root Boost that I always buy. I've tried lots of different volumizers. I'm not married to any of them, but this is the one that I use the most often because it gives me pretty good results. Dry shampoo. This one's from Batiste. This is something that you put in your hair to kind of absorb the oil. So this serves like dual purposes as a dry shampoo, but also gives you like insane volume. It also can make your hair look a little dry though. So there's this, but then there's also these little powder things that come in little bottles like this. This one's from Lanza, this one's from Schwarzkopf Got To Be. So this is different from this, where like this like sprays out, this just shakes out, and you only need a little bit, and it's kind of like a powder wax. So what you do is you kind of blow dry your hair, style it and everything, and then I put this, like, well, grab a section, shakes them in, and then sort of work it in, and it gives your hair like the most amazing like grip and volume. And if you're doing an updo or something, oh my god, use this and it'll, like, all the bobby pins will stick in perfectly. It's amazing. The next thing I want to show you for volume, Fido Volume Shampoo. This has crushed up seashells in it, so the seashells actually like stick onto the strands of your hair, so it gives you like awesome volume from the get-go. This is especially good for like any kind of, again, updos and stuff, because it'll give your hair a little bit more grip. The only thing about this is that you wouldn't want to use it every day because then you're going to get major like buildup on the hair, but overall I love this stuff. And then the last thing that I do for volume is I tease my hair. Another one of the questions was, how do you tease your hair properly? teasing comb. So this has natural boar bristles and also like some like nylon or bristles. And what you do is you just grab a section of hair and you back comb it. What you don't want to do when you're teasing is just like they did in the 80s, like ratting up your hair, because that's what's going to cause the most damage. But if you just gently tease it with a teasing comb, works like a charm. But straight iron, blow dryer, and how do I style my hair? I'm gonna just have to do a video on that because that could take all day, and I want to do it after I get my hair cut, which is one of the reasons why I'm getting my hair cut, so video coming. So the next section is shampoo, conditioner, and maintenance. So I actually wrote myself detailed instructions for this. Brush your hair with a boar bristle brush before you wash the night before and right before you wash your hair. It detangles the hair, but it also distributes the oil that's naturally at the root so that the oil can be all over, and that's why I like to do it at night, is to distribute the oil, and then in the morning before I wash my hair, do it to detangle the hair. So that way when you wash it, you don't end up with this rat's nest, because you don't want to brush your hair out when it's wet, because it's more fragile when it's wet. Don't wash your hair every day. This was really hard to get used to for me because my hair, as I said, was oily. So again, this goes back to dry shampoo. For dry shampoo, I recommend using it the night before and just kind of just spraying it just where you like definitely need it. You kind of leave it on for a few minutes and then you brush it through. The other thing that you can do instead of doing the dry shampoo, if you don't like this for whatever reason, and this next option is much less expensive, take conditioner that is just like an inexpensive one. I use one from Organics, and then you just get like a lot of it in your hand and you like work it through your hair like you're washing it. You can leave it in for a little bit and then make sure you rinse it out really, really well. It gets like all the gunk out of your hair without stripping the color. So that's another really good option if you're like, I have to wet my hair every single day. I understand. Probably the most important thing for keeping your hair color in is to use a shampoo that's intended for color treated hair. I used to just say use a sulfate free shampoo and you're fine. Since then, I have found quite a few sulfate-free shampoos that have stripped the color out of my hair. In fact, I was just sent one. The company is Biomega, and it made my hair so soft I can't even tell you. I was just like, couldn't stop touching it. But it also stripped the color right out of my hair. One I've gone back to over and over and over and over again is the Lanza. It's called Healing Color Care. It's some flower shield complex, I don't know. It's not harsh. It doesn't feel super sudsy when I'm washing my hair, which is one thing. If it feels really sudsy, it's probably taking your color out. Ooh, another thing too is that this Phyto Volume doesn't take the color out. I've gone back to this for like the last, I don't know, like 5 years or something. It's amazing. Love it, love it, love it. And it smells good, which is an added bonus. And apparently, according to the bag, it says it has UV, UVB, UVA, UVC filters. I don't know about that. All I know is that it works and I like it. So yeah, that's what I use. That's what I recommend. It's expensive. It's like $22 for each one of these. So it's not cheap, but it does last quite a bit of time. Now, if you're on a budget and you want one from the drugstore, the Organics ones are pretty good. I would say that my hair feels a bit drier when I use this as opposed to the Lanza ones. But, I mean, this is also like a fraction of the price. Each one of these is like less than a third of the price of the Lanza ones. So, the next tip is to wash your hair in the coldest water possible. In the wintertime like now, I can't do cold water, so I go for lukewarm. Basically, hot water, any kind of heat, opens up the hair cuticle and then all your lovely hair dye just comes out. And it's so sad. Now, I need to take my own advice on this next one, and that is to use a heat protector. I'm really bad about using heat protector because I hate when it makes my hair flat. The one that I've used is the, again, Lanza Healing Color Care. This is the Daily Elixir Seals and Protects. This one I do like. It's not oily at all. I actually do use this, but I'm not sure if this is like the best heat protectant that I could be using. Next piece of advice, don't rub your hair. So like when you're drying it with a towel, don't do like this with the towel. The reason that you don't want to do that is you're gonna like rough up the cuticle and then you're gonna cause yourself to have split ends or make your split ends open even bigger, and it's not good, so don't do it. The next thing is to apply hair styling products when your hair is wet and let your hair half air dry. That way you don't have to blow dry your hair when it's like soaking wet. So the next question is, does changing your shampoo or conditioner, like is there any real like reason to do that? I don't know. I know that I do it every now and then. I'll switch it up, and that's why I have this. Switch it up like every third week or maybe once a week. I'll wash with a different shampoo. That way my hair never really gets used to one. I don't know if it's necessary, but I do it. So the next question is best deep conditioner mask treatment. To be completely honest, I'm really bad at using hair treatments. I don't know why. I probably should. The only one that I have used, and this is like pretty much all squeezed out, is the Lanza trauma treatment, also in the Healing Color Care line. Like this, I really liked the one that they had that was like the Moi Moi mask. I used that till it was gone in like a very short amount of time. So I guess if I had to have a favorite, that would be it, but I don't have it here to show you. Drugstore brands that won't fade color. Again, I already mentioned the Organics is pretty good. I want you guys to just be aware that even styling products can strip the color out of your hair. Like if you use like a lot of like really drying gel or really drying mousse or anything, it can actually take the color out, which sucks. Okay, so now we get to the hair dyeing questions. And the number one question I get asked about hair dye or my hair or anything is, how is it possible that you can dye your hair all the time and it still looks healthy? Or how do you keep your hair healthy when you dye it all the time? Two things. My hair is damaged. It's very damaged, especially when I went from the purple to the red. I had them use a color stripper and it really wrecked the ends of the red part of my hair. Didn't do too much to the black at all. Like it didn't take the color out, didn't really damage it. And that also answers another question, which is how do you get black dye out of hair? I don't know. If you figure it out, you let me know, because it didn't come out of my hair. And I tried to grow it out and I just got fed up with it and just dyed it all black. Back to that question, my hair is damaged, but because of my natural hair texture, it's fine. It's, you know, very resilient. It's naturally pretty strong. It's naturally very shiny. So even though I do a lot to it, it's not like someone who has naturally coarse hair or naturally like texture to it. My hair is so fine and slick naturally that it doesn't look as damaged as people who have a different hair texture would look. And then the last part of that is that I don't really dye my hair, I think, as often as you guys think I do. I only use permanent hair color on the new regrowth. So like I'm gonna color my hair in a day or two, and I'm just gonna color this with the permanent about every 6 weeks. Roughly, give or take. And in fact, right now it's been about 7 weeks and I'm like dying to dye my hair, but I purposefully didn't do it just so you guys could actually see the roots. Let me go ahead and just show you my black roots, or the roots are on the black part of my hair too, so you guys can see. Isn't that exciting? Now with my black, I actually have to dye a little bit more of that black. I was trying to like grow out my black. I had about like this much of it that was grown out. And it's a mess. So I do dye more of the black than I do of the red. So that's the thing of it, is that I'm not dyeing all of the hair, you know, every 6 to apparently now like 7 or 8 weeks. But what I do is I use a permanent color. This is what I use. This is satin. This is the Intense Copper Blonde that I used on the red. And then that kind of just gives me kind of a reddish tint to the hair, reddish color. It basically lifts it and it damages it just enough to where the special effects will stick to it, and this is Hot Lava. The special effects that I use is kind of a glaze to make it bright and everything. I hope I didn't get that on my shirt. This is non-damaging. It's a vegetable-based dye, and for the rest of this video I'm just going to call it Crazy Colors, because it, you know, there's lots of color or like dyes that are like this where it's not a dye like this where it's mixed with a developer and all this stuff. It's literally just this. It has kind of a conditioning type quality to it that also makes my hair very shiny. It's sort of like a deep conditioning treatment or glaze, and that's why my hair looks healthier than it is. What is the best bright crazy color dye? In my opinion, my favorite is Special Effects. It comes in lots of different colors. It's available at a beauty supply near me. It's super easy to get a hold of. Now, specifically pertaining to Pravana, only Pravana dye that I tried that was like the crazy colors was the purple, and it was fantastic. It was such a bold, vibrant color. The only thing about it is that because it was so intense, it would really pervade the pink, and it would end up making the pink more of like a raspberry pink, where I'm very picky again. I want it pink, I want it purple, and I wanted it black. The other thing I didn't like about the Pravana is that the Pravana would really shrink away from hair that wasn't greatly damaged. So my roots obviously wouldn't stick to the roots, but it wouldn't even stick to like the freshly dyed or bleached hair. Like it needed to be like old dry hair or something for it to stick to. But the Pravana was very good. Never tried Directions, never tried the Stargazer. Punky color, in my opinion, is no good. It doesn't last. Manic Panic doesn't last and dyes, like stains everything. Raw I've used and it was okay. And then Beyond the Zone is pretty bad. It just doesn't last very long. Do you mix Pravana or Special Effects with certain things? No, you don't it's complicated. You don't mix them with developer like this. You can mix them into shampoo and conditioner to kind of make a colored shampoo for yourself so that your color lasts. And then you can also mix, like, especially, I don't know about Pravana, but the special, yeah, I did it with Pravana, I think. You can mix this though with conditioner. So sometimes when I'm like need a little color refreshing, but I don't need it to last longer than like a week because I know I'll be recoloring the roots, I'll just mix a little bit of this with some conditioner. I'll just make it a little more vibrant for, you know, like a week or so. So the next question is, where do I buy special effects in Pravana? A lot of people are like, I can't find it at Sally's. Neither one of those is sold at Sally's Beauty Supply, and neither is the satin hair dye, unfortunately. The special effects I buy at the same local beauty supply that I buy my shampoo and stuff, but it is not a Sally Beauty Supply. It's the Alameda Beauty Center, so it's not like a chain that I could tell you guys to go to, unfortunately. I think it's like a family-owned thing, I don't know. I've bought hair dye from amphigory.com and from goodgoth.com. They both sell special effects, so those are two sites, and I'll have a link to them in the down bar. So with Pravana, you're supposed to be a licensed cosmetologist in order to be able to buy that. I kind of got around that by buying it on eBay. So I just typed in Pravana dye on eBay. Do you have to bleach your hair to get the color to stick, and if so, how much? Yes and no. So if you have very light hair, sometimes the special effects and punky colors and stuff like that will stick to your hair. In my experience, because my hair is so naturally healthy, it won't stick to mine. So it depends on the porosity of your hair and the tone of your hair. It doesn't work for me without lightening my hair. So I always bleach it. As to how much you have to bleach it, it really depends on the color that you're doing. So if you're doing green or brown, if you're doing green or blue or even purple, it's best to get your hair as light as you possibly can. Otherwise, it'll start to have like a funky tone to it. Like if you dye your hair blue and then your hair is yellow underneath, color theory would make that green, right? It's just best to basically bleach it as light as you possibly can. But on that same token, if you're dyeing your hair red or orange or even sometimes pink, you can kind of have a little bit more of that like yellowy tone to it, and it's fine, just kind of cover it up. Okay, so the next question is, have you or will you do a hair dyeing tutorial? I did one a couple of years ago, so I'll just link to that. It's when I had my hair pink, purple, and black. I would basically just do it in sections and things like that. I don't see the point in doing another video, only because I do it the same way. I section off the red, dye the black, dye the red, done and done. That's another reason why I changed it from pink, because it's a little more simple now. How do you stop the special effects or any kind of like crazy dye color from staining your skin, your pillowcase, da-da-da-da-da? So the first thing I do is I use gloves in the shower for the first like week usually, and then after that I'm usually fine with it not staining. And in terms of pillowcases and things like that, I use a red pillowcase to sleep on because I dyed my hair red. I used a red one actually when it was pink and purple too. So that's, yeah. So the next question is there a way to go back to your natural hair color? Kinda, sort of. So when you've already lightened the hair, it's lightened. So there's no way to go back to unlightened hair. The only thing you can do is color over it. And sometimes bleached hair especially doesn't hold color very well. So yeah, you kind of can go over it, but not always. If you've dyed your hair darker, especially black, I wasn't able to get the black out of my hair. And I wasn't willing to bleach it over and over and over again to try to get it out. In the end, I decided I kind of liked the bottom black, so just kind of went with it. Alright guys, so the last question is, do you have any tips for dyeing the back of your head? I know that's really hard when you're dyeing your own hair. I also can't see the back of my head. So I use a mirror like this, just a really crappy one that I don't care if it gets all dyed up and stuff. This is probably like 6 or something years old. Yeah, that's what I use just to see what's going on. I used to have a setup where I had 3 mirrors that would come out so I could, and I had one behind me so I could see what I was doing. That was a fantastic setup. And that's a high priority for me for my next place, that I am able to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this very, very long video all about hair. Maybe you guys can see why I put it off for so long, because I knew it would be like an all-day marathon filming. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for some of you. And until next time, just be yourself. See you, bye.